you. Hi, everybody, and welcome to tonight's show. We are so excited to bring you another fantastic guest. But
Hi, everybody, and welcome to tonight's show.
Oh, my goodness.
So excited to bring you another fantastic guest.
The wonders of technology.
Yeah, sorry about that, everybody, but we're back, and we're not double whatever we're doing, dubbing, rub-a-dub. We're so excited that you're here tonight and excited about our guest tonight. But first, I want to introduce to you, those of you who may not know, my co-host, co-creator, and very dear friend, Brian Kelly. Brian has been a software engineer for over 23 years. He brings not only that knowledge to what we've put together, but in addition to that, he was co-owner of a travel-based MLM for 6.5 years. He also is an avid social media enthusiast, has put together several programs. Nothing that we have right here at the moment, but we've got some things we're going to be revealing to everybody very soon. In addition to that, Brian puts together a lot of the technology that you see that we have here on our show and our beautiful site that if you have not gone there yet, you need to go to celebritycreators.com. We have been transitioning from the Internet Citadel show. So if it looks different, this is our new look. In addition to that, Brian brings a lot of years of experience on the internet over the years, and we're partnered here together, bringing this program together. Man of character and integrity. I'm getting tripped up over my words here, but I'm just so excited to share with you my friend and co-host Brian Kelly. Welcome, Brian, to another Tuesday show.
Oh, stop it already. You keep doing that. Thank you so much. My goodness, gonna get me all mushy and welled up over here. Welcome, everyone, to tonight's show. Thank you for taking the time out of your evening to join us. Kathy is a wonderful human being in every way that you can think of, and I'd like to give you a brief background about her, if I may. She's an operation manager and sales manager, has that kind of experience of 25 plus years with a Fortune 500 company, which is in its own right very impressive. But the list goes on. She's been in network marketing, or MLM, since the early 80s, so you can sense the continuity here of marketing and sales. Also been an affiliate marketer since the early 90s, and I like to always affectionately call her the affiliate marketing queen because she can sell literally, well, almost anything to anyone. Almost. She's a very highly successful social media coach. And if you need any assistance in social media for marketing a business, I'm telling you, Kathy is the one you want. She is a true expert by every definition of the word. She's also a speaker, a power seller on eBay, an author, and also a top-rated seller on eBay, both of which are quite lofty designations, if you will. She has certificates on her wall. She's, again, a woman of high integrity, brings unbelievable value to the show. In its creation and its operation. She's the glue that holds it together. With that, I'd like to turn it back over to you, Kathy. Let's get our wonderful guest onto this show.
I'm telling you what, you're killing me. You know what? And I left off speaker and author and all that stuff for you. It's just, you know, with that overdubbing blubba-dub tonight, it just threw me off, I guess. But I'm as excited as you to talk about our guest tonight. I want to tell you a little bit about her. Adrian's sassy style, combined with her expansive knowledge of legal and practical steps to protecting yourself and your hard-earned assets, have made her a popular guest on television and radio shows nationwide, and the Celebrity Creator Show with Brian and I. Bringing humor and attitude to otherwise touchy, challenging subjects, Adrian makes the information totally digestible and relatable. Adrian's qualifications as a certified divorce financial analyst, I was surprised to see that, certified asset protection specialist, and forensic accountant, and I need to ask her about that, bring rock solid credibility to her valuable advice. This woman has got it all, I'm telling you. Her Sex and the City meets Susie Orman approach is sure to make the savvy modern single girls loyal followers. Adrienne is also the founder of Wow Is Me, specializing in transforming everyday entrepreneurs into wildly successful business celebrities. And how fitting is that with celebrities having you on the show? Adrienne, Brian, and I would love to welcome you to tonight's show.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here. You guys have put together a really awesome show. I love the site. I love what you're doing. And I love what you do to your clients because I've seen some results and it's pretty amazing. So I am honored to be here.
Well, the honor is all ours. Yeah. This is fantastic. We really appreciate you taking your time as well, Adrienne. We know you're a busy individual as well. In fact, you're coming to us live from a hotel at a nearby airport at Los Angeles International. So to show folks out there her dedication to and follow through to actually come on the show in a remote environment, that says a lot about her and her integrity as well. So thank you, Adrienne, very, very much for doing this.
You're very welcome. It was actually fun troubleshooting everything.
Yeah, that was fun.
We did our dry run at home where I have like the highest speed DSL you can get. It's a little different here.
Little different, yes. So for those of you that are watching, that you see a little bit of a blurriness on Adrienne's video, that is the reason why she's at a hotel. The bandwidth isn't as great as it could be, but the show must go on, as they say. And as long as we can hear her beautiful voice and occasionally see her beautiful face come in clear, we're good to go.
I'll try to make sure that if I freeze in a smile.
There we go. All right, the topic of tonight's show is multiple income streams, so let's just jump right into it. And on that note, would you say that, Adrienne, that multiple streams of income are a must in this economy to be financially secure right now?
Absolutely. Absolutely a must. And I say that because I have seen many businesses fail because they only did one thing. And they did that one thing really, really well, but they never thought past that first step. And I have to tell you, it's more than just diversification and making sure you're in multiple niches, in multiple marketplaces. You can see the collapse of a certain way of doing business or an entire market. So it's absolutely essential.
Well, how do you base, what it is how do you choose your streams? What do you use to choose your income streams?
Well, it depends on what it is that you do for a living, but I'll give you an example. If you were a used car salesman in 2006, 2007, right around there, right before 2008, the new car markets were seeing such a dramatic loss in their business that they were cutting down their financing to 0%. So you had a choice of getting a brand new car and paying way more money than you wanted to, but you got 0% financing, or getting a used car and your monthly payment would be the same because the interest rate was so high on that used car. So that market dried completely up. Well, what were used car salesmen supposed to do? They had to go out and find a different job. Thankfully, sales is a transferable skill. So always make sure you have a transferable skill under your belt. But let's talk about if you are a speaker or a trainer. Say if you're a sales trainer rather than a salesperson. If you're going out and you're doing sales training and all of a sudden you see your corporate markets completely dry up and all you did was go and teach classes in front of people, if you also had those classes available on DVD, had a membership site, had a way for people to get little bits of you, had a special coaching program that's higher end, had some sort of funnel where you brought them in and brought in customers not from one source, but from many, then you probably didn't notice too much when all of the corporate contracts dried up. So that's an example.
That makes a heck of a lot of sense. But you just kind of ended that with that simple. But there's a lot of people out there that I think may not think ahead, and then they're not quite sure what direction they should go. So is there a magic number as to how diversified you should be? I mean...
Okay, well, I like to think of it like insurance. Either you like having insurance or you don't, right?
Right.
Now, we saw a whole bunch of people getting into the high-tech industry. Then that crashed. because we saw the whole pump and dump. Then we had the energy, and that crashed. Then we had the real estate, and that crashed. A smart person would be looking for, you know, just as a little backup, what's next? What could I invest in, see it go really, really big, sell high, and then get out before everybody figures out it's a, you know, a Ponzi scheme. I'm just kidding. You know that, right?
No, but
That's what happened.
But we all know about those, don't we?
Well, what I'm saying is this is literally how people think, I'm going to fix this by getting in on the next big thing, right? Now, if you aren't one of the powers that be, or one of the, you know, I'd say there was 30 or so people, the same 30 people, in each of those different Ponzi schemes. So they certainly know what's next because they've already set it up and they're working on it. But everybody else is kind of in that also ran category. You've got all these people going, now's the best time to buy foreclosures. I'm like, okay, except that they're holding 75% of bad commercial paper and they don't know what to do with it. And as soon as that goes, then the whole real estate market goes. And do I really want to be in real estate during that bubble?
Well, you know, and it's a good thing that you bring that up, Adrienne, because a lot of people, that's what they're gravitating towards right now, because it seems like, you know, that's the place to put your money, right? And everybody's jumping on it and doing it. So
2013, you can buy in 2013. We have an election and the world ending to get past before we get better. We have to get past that whole world ending thing. And then once that's over, kind of like the millennium when the world was going to end.
Yeah, right.
Y2K?
Y2K, yes.
Y2K was actually very profitable for me. That dragged me back into the high-tech industry big time.
Huh.
You know, I remember my neighbors in the Bay Area, I think they're still eating some of the canned goods that, you know, were being saved. You know, it's like, you know.
Hey, that Dinty Moore beef stew lasts a really long time.
No kidding.
No expiration.
No expiration. Okay, so let's talk about what does work and the multiple streams that they can create. So right now, with all of the credit card companies dropping credit lines down to whatever your balance is, there isn't a lot of extra money to go around to do launches. Like big, I can pay $50,000 and buy into this franchise and launch that kind of a business. So they need to be able to figure out what is it that I can do right now from home for nothing, right?
Right.
So is that where we're going with this whole multiple streams? Or if I have a business, how can I add to it? The best way is what you know. And people say, well, everybody already knows what I know. Trust me, they don't. And there's 50 different kinds of chocolate chip cookies that are extremely successful in multi-million-dollar companies. So there's always a new recipe to be had. So what is it that you do that you can offer that's different than what somebody else offers? And like I mentioned before, what I would suggest is you really want to have something that people can buy without you present. So you have to have a product, especially if you're a service provider. I mean, could you imagine if your industry, like I was saying, used cars, it dries up? Then what do you do? But if you're a used car salesman and you happen to have a DVD on how to get the best price for a used car, slimy used car salesperson tips, you know, what they're actually saying when they go back and check with their boss. Like, if you're a used car salesman, you could have a whole info product on how to get a better deal on a used car. People would buy that. They'd want to.
Sure they would.
If you're going to save them $5,000, they're going to give you $25 for an ebook.
Yeah, it's especially true in this economy, definitely. Yeah,
definitely.
And when you say,
so anything that'll help them save money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you say that, you know, you want to have something that you don't have to be present for. Maybe expand a little bit on that for those who may not completely grasp that. I mean, I know Kathy and I do, but
leveraging technology is huge. So there are all different ways that you can set up shopping carts to take orders 24 hours a day. They're online. If you want to get started for free, you can go to PayPal. It's, you know, certainly not the cheapest merchant account you can ever get, but it's right there, and in a minute you're there. You're taking money. So it's a great place to start. And I think most people do start there, and it's a trusted brand, so you're going to get people to be willing to give their credit card information to PayPal first, pretty easily. So you want to set it up so that people can give you money 24 hours a day. You need to make sure that you can deliver the product as quickly as possible. If it's a physical product, then there are ways that you can either do it yourself at home or you can hire somebody else to do it. Do you guys, have you talked about on other shows fulfillment houses and different ways of creating information products?
To some extent, we've talked about shopping cart in one particular case.
Touched on it.
We haven't really drilled down into the detail of those on any of the past shows that I can recall. Can you, Kathy?
No,
Yeah.
no, not at all. If you want to expound on that a little bit, that would be great.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, one of the things that I try to help people with is, when we talk about multiple streams of income, sometimes you can make money again and again and again on the same thing. So you can do a phone call with somebody, and that's an audio CD. It's also a live teleseminar at the point that it actually happened. So people can be on the call live and pay to be on that live so they can ask questions live. You take the recording, turn that recording into a CD, sell that later, transcribe it, turn that into a special report, sell that later, do a compilation, so come up with some kind of a theme. And if you look in the record store, you'll know what I mean. They have these compilation albums of music, like the best disco or the best dance club mixes. So think about some kind of a theme. So you don't even have to be the expert. You just have to be able to talk. And pretty much everybody over the age of 5 can talk. So that would work. So you pick the people that you want, right? And I'm going to give you a super secret place to go to find anybody you could possibly ever want to interview who would be willing to talk to you for free because they want to be talked to. Are you ready?
We're ready.
I'm ready.
Okay. It's called expertclick.com. Expertclick.com. Yeah.
Okay.
So what this is the yearbook of experts. They put this thing together every year and they mail it out to all the media. Well, the thing is, I paid for a full page ad and I never got I got one phone call, and when I got quoted as a friend of the family. So it didn't do me any good.
Oh, jeez.
But when I started looking through that, I realized it was a treasure trove when it came to people that I could interview on a specific topic. And you can pick anything you want. You don't have to be an expert at all. You could actually do the actor's studio method of interviewing. You write 10 questions, and you ask each person the same 10 questions over and over and over, right?
Oh, my gosh.
His famous last question is, what's your favorite swear word? Right? That can be really fun when you've got, A-listers talking about their favorite cuss words and why. So come up with 10 questions, and then you go through the book and you say, okay, I want to talk about, teenagers behaving badly. Or I want to talk about, how to talk to my teenager about having sex. That's a good topic, right? Because teenagers actually do have sex more than we'd like them to actually have sex. So you can talk to somebody who's pro having sex and being informed, and you can talk to somebody who's abstinence only, and you can talk to a teenager. You can interview all sorts of people to create an information product where all you're doing is asking questions. You don't have to know anything. Nothing. Right?
That's really cool.
Right? So
I like it.
anybody can have multiple income streams. Anybody can create an information product. And what people want right now... Oh, I'm so sorry.
Bless you.
Bless you.
They cleaned with something in here that's a little refreshing. Anyway, anybody can create an information product about just about anything because it's not about your credibility. You borrow it from the person you're interviewing. And then hopefully if you select wisely, then they will have a list of their own, of their followers and people who like them and people who hang on their every word. You want to make sure you get a few of those because then they'll send out to their people and say, meet so-and-so. This person is doing a new project and I'm honored to be in it.
Yes.
So you're now getting their credibility and all of those people coming to your site, opting into your list, and becoming your customers too.
And we'll be covering that topic specifically coming up very, very soon, and can't wait to get to that. But
and I have online and offline tips for that too.
Excellent, excellent. So Kathy, continuing on, you had a question, I think, about articles?
What?
You
That was yours, my dear.
Pardon?
I said that was you. You're up. You're up. You're in the batter's box.
Pick me.
So Brian, what did you want to know about articles?
You know what I want to know about articles is do they have a place in revenue generation? I want to know that.
Yes. And here's why. The one thing about revenue generation that is critical is traffic generation.
Yes.
That's the absolute number one necessity. You can have the greatest product ever. You can be the most experienced, talented person ever. You could be the person that could show people how to legally pay 1 penny a year in taxes, and the IRS sent an approval to your process and anointed by a judge said, yes, absolutely, this process is legal. And if you get no traffic, you will have no sales, no matter how fabulous you and the product are.
That's right.
So traffic is absolutely essential. And articles, number one, they're a great way to spread the wealth. You put them in the right places on the internet, and then they can be grabbed by other people for e-zines. You put them up there, and there can be, if you search engine optimize your articles the right way, then that footer where it says who you are and leads back to your website will give you some backlink love. It'll just give you the traffic that you need and the credibility that you need to generate those sales. So yes, articles have a huge, huge, huge part in revenue generation.
So let me ask you this. I know that you see a lot of people writing e-zine articles, and I notice a lot of it is repurposed.
You're so articles, like not really articles. They're articles, like faux articles.
Yes,
they're articles
like that.
Yeah, like that. So here's the thing about that. They can be very, very effective as long as your name and your company are not associated with it. So to me, that's it's the advanced lessons, because what I do at Wows Me is I help people raise their visibility, raise their platform, gain visibility as an expert and a leader in their industry. And using some of these techniques, you clearly don't want to put your name on something that says, I found apples on street. Or the English can sometimes be challenging, right? So then you spend a great deal of time rewriting it. So what would be the point in the first place? If you are going to have somebody else write your articles, which is absolutely fine, please make sure that they're good. You would have
There's nothing like copying somebody's bad article. That's for sure.
Well, you also have, you can buy whole directories full of private label rights articles. I had a client who had no idea how to write articles, and so I sent her 976 health-related private label rights articles and said, get cracking. Just rewrite these. So it's like, you now have a starting place. Go. So it just depends. I mean, if they're frozen and they can't get any farther, give them something to start with. There's actually a funny story. A former colleague of mine, I've written 3 books. I'm so done. I'm done. I don't want to, I'm done.
No more writing?
Thousands of pages. I'm done writing. Just done. So she would write. I'd have to do a blog post, or I'd have to write something, or an introduction, or a 1-page, or something. She'd go, oh, it's okay, I'll do it. She'd write it up and hand it to me. There would be no punctuation, no capitalization, misspellings galore. The basis of the article was good. The idea was good. And I'd sit there and I'd be like, I can't put something like this out. And I'd have to fix it. And I'm like OCD, type A compulsive perfectionist. No, really. I know, it's a problem. And for people like me, it makes it difficult to, get a lot of stuff done. And I'm very, very prolific for somebody who has that kind of need for perfection. I had to get over it to an extent. But that was her way of getting me to write and do it quickly, because she would always give it to me 30 minutes before it was due. So I wouldn't stress out because I only had 30 minutes. So it's a good technique. Have somebody do it really, really badly, hand it off to you, and fix it.
Well, I can tell you this, there's hope. When you get older, it kind of dissipates ever so slightly.
Ever so slightly? Just a touch?
Ever so, just a touch, yes.
That's good.
So there's hope. So one thing I wanted to ask you is, what would be your the number one thing on your list that you would start with if you were going to pick one that you would strategize in putting together multiple streams of income? Is there like one thing you would say, that's it?
Yeah, traffic. And here's how I do it. See, I do traffic different than everybody else does traffic. Most people who have information products, they put up their site, they test their conversions, and they drive traffic to their page. I do it a little backwards. I go to some place like ClickBank or another one of the places where I can get a CPA offer that pays pretty good, that I can see the conversion rate. So I know what that page is capable of. Then I start doing my traffic generation, and I do it through a page where I control what gets shown, right? So I'm not sending it directly to that ClickBank offer, because then I'd have to redo all my traffic. What I'm doing is I'm sending it to my page, and then I have code on that page that then sends it over to the offer. Once I get to the point where I know that I'm pulling my traffic from the right place, that I'm pulling buyers, that my conversion rate is at least as good as what I know that page will do, then I know I have good traffic. Because it doesn't matter if you generate clicks and you generate views if they're not pulling out their wallet. I was the queen of making huge lists of non-buyers. I think I was the first person to really perfect it. I built a list of 100,000 people who did not even respond to a penny offer, but would respond when I sent them an email asking them to vote for me in the hottest contest. Oh, how hot are you? That was it. To vote for how hot are you? And they voted. But they wouldn't even buy a penny sale. Not even a penny.
Figure.
Right? So it's all about pulling the right traffic from the right places who are interested in what you're offering. So then once I know that I've got the right traffic, then I can test it over onto my page. And if I'm not getting the right conversions, put it back so the traffic's still making me money while I'm learning. And it is learning. It's testing and converting.
No, it is. It's always, we're always learning.
Yes.
Yeah.
And every new niche is a new learning experience.
And the world of the internet is ever changing, ever moving, ever gyrating. I mean, you have to keep on top of it, because what worked yesterday may not necessarily work today. So, we talk about traffic in different ways. There's a new wave going on. I don't know if it's all that new anymore, but it's become very powerful. And we're wondering if you also use social media in your promotion, and how heavily, if so.
Pretty heavily. 85% of my business comes from Facebook, and 5% from Twitter. And that's probably because I spend all my time on Facebook, not on Twitter. I could probably maximize some more if I really put effort into it. It's just been, the traffic and the business that I'm getting from Facebook. There's only 24 hours in the day. Yeah. I need to productize more. I'm the cobbler who has no shoes.
That's me.
All I have.
I actually used that line today.
How appropriate is that? I mean, we're gurus at what we do, except we do it for our clients instead of ourselves.
Oh, that is so true.
It is so true. It is so true. I'm doing multi-million-dollar launches for my clients, and I'm going, I need to take a day off so I can do my launch strategy for my app that's going live on Black Friday.
That's right. You got some cool stuff coming up.
I do. That has nothing to do with marketing. I mean, I'm using all my marketing skills, but the app isn't about.
Talk about multiple streams of income. Yes. There you go. It's just diversification in a different way,
Well, I'm using my talent, but I'm also using something out of my life. So, how many people are watching this? Do they want to be in on the super secret of what I'm doing?
I don't know about them, but I do. I know Kathy does.
It live. I'll tell you offline what it is, but it's really, really cool.
I love it.
Yeah, it's everybody who hears it, they think for a minute, and then the jaw goes, "Oh my God!"
So what are you saying? If anybody watching wants to know what it is, when and where do they have to go to get this information from you?
Fan me on Facebook, facebook.com/Adrian Ashley, and ask me, and I'll invite them when it goes into private beta. I would be happy to do that for your subscribers.
And if they want to know how to spell Adrian, they can look at our site here.
Yeah, and it's also on the screen.
ADRYNN. It's not easy, but once you spell it 3 times, you'll never forget.
It's very original. I like it.
Thank you.
It's up on the screen for our viewers right now in nice, beautiful red letters.
Oh, fantastic.
Excellent, excellent. Man, I lost track. There was so many great things going on there. Kathy, did you have a question you wanted to ask her, or do I?
That's okay. You know what? That's what's so cool about this show, because we can just kind of go with the flow, right?
We have fun. That's the best part.
No big a deal. So, what I wanted to talk about is joint ventures, JVs. And I'm saying it so that people that may not know what that means, but JVs are joint venture partners as far as getting involved in multiple streams of revenue and income. I know you do that. How important is that?
It's huge. Like I said in the beginning, this is a way, when I was saying you can come up with a product by interviewing other people, that's a form of joint venture, because you're then also asking them to send out to their list to sell it. So a typical back-end deal on that would be they get 50% of whatever sales come from them sending out to their list, and you keep 50%. So that's a normal joint venture. Another way that we work on this is if you're a brick and mortar company. You know, there's a great example. My favorite car wash is Matt and Jeff's in Novato, and right next door is an oil changers. So you go and get your oil changed, and you're already spending, you know, like 65, 75 bucks, whatever. And then they give you the upsell. And the upsell is, would you like a car wash with that? Or a pack of car washes with that. Yeah. And so the inside of your car is all nice and squeaky clean, the engine. So why not your car? You know, why not the outside too? And it's such a remarkable deal because both services are discounted so much that it's almost a no-brainer, and everybody says yes. So that's a great joint venture for people who might not know about Matt and Jeff's, and people at Matt and Jeff's who might not know about the oil changer place. Very similar idea would be if you own a housekeeping company and you notice that the carpets need to be cleaned, you could actually do a campaign to all of your housekeeping clients for the carpet cleaning company, and vice versa. When somebody goes in to clean the carpets, they can also do a mailing when they send out their typical direct mail pieces. They could add a little something something from the maid service and get a percentage of that, or just do a cross referral. And then there's a bigger deal. This is a very funny story, and the reason why I was saying social media is so important. So I was working with a client, and we were making videos. So I posted on Facebook, because I'm pretty transparent. I mean, like, you can pretty much figure out where I am in the world and what I'm doing. Just look at Facebook. It's wide open. I mean, even if I don't know you, it's wide open. You can read everything. And I said, making cool videos with Chef K. Another friend of mine responds, I mean, like almost instantaneously, Chef, I need a chef. And I wrote back, what do you need a chef for? And he goes, well, I'm working with this liquor company, and they're looking to do food pairings. And I said, well, she does culinary education for kids, so probably not the right chef. Aha! How about a chocolatier who's a chef, who's a judge on the Food Network? Would that work? And thus was born the Two Chicks with Chocolate meets Love Potion No. 9 joint venture. And in the end...
Oh, that's where that came from.
That's where that came from. And in the end, that'll be about $2.3 million. But what was even better is the parent company of Love Potion No. 9 also is now doing stuff with Two Chicks with Chocolate for their Fire and Ice chocolate martinis.
Wow. So
it's another liquor brand that they have that they're partnering with that. So that became an even bigger deal than just the original deal. So those are the kinds of things that social media helps with. If people know what you're doing, if you're open about the projects that you're working on, the niches that you're going after, and you're really friendly with people and helpful, and you introduce them, they are more than likely to introduce you.
Yeah,
so don't be so secretive that they can't help you.
Right. You mentioned a perfect word, transparency, which you are. And that is so anti what it used to be about a decade ago or even 5 years ago, where many people wanted to stay in their little turtle shell, if you will, and just stay off the map. They didn't want people to know where they lived, where their phone number was. They're just in fear that someone was going to come and break into their house if they knew where they lived, which we're seeing in our society today that a lot of that has gone away, and people are going to the other side and saying, I need to expose myself monumentally, not put myself in a shell, if I need to do business and be successful with that. Have you seen that shift as well in your travels?
I have. Yeah, I've totally seen that shift. People, here's how the marketplace is viewing it. The tools are available for you to be transparent and for me to be able to background check you without paying a private investigator. Yeah. So I want to know, where did you go? What parties did you go to? How many friends do we have in common? What are your favorite things? What are your favorite things to do? And why should I like you, or why should I do business with you? Right? Well, one of my main value propositions, and the reason that people love to work with me, is I'm fun. 16 years of cheerleading. You are going to have a good time with me. I'm going to make it fun. I have a riding crop. I use it sometimes, only when necessary. Don't make me use it. But, if I need to, I have it. But most of the time, I am that raw, go for the underdog. You can get it done. I believe in you. I have faith in you. And most of the time, that's all they need, really. Because I only take people who are really super talented. They've got that it factor.
Yeah.
Like they would be the movie star if they were in the movies. That much talent in whatever it is that they do. So I'm virtually assured of a home run every time. I just got to get them out of their own way. So it works really, really well. And joint ventures are a huge thing with that, because you can't do it by yourself. Nobody has the resources anymore, right? You need to borrow somebody's list if you don't already have one. If you want to do something else, go build a list. You can build that for free. Start building a list in a particular niche, and then go target somebody who has a great product. And like I was saying before, I practice using ClickBank and CPA offers. Those are, cost per action. So when something happens, I get a commission. So I get an affiliate commission. But I practice on those. Can I reach it? So I have 3 rules for niche marketing. One is I have to be able to easily and affordably reach them. Well, the first rule is I have to be able to identify them. Like, women is not a niche. It's not. It's too big. It's like saying, who's your best customer? Everybody. Everybody needs what I have to offer. It's like, great, except that I can't craft a message that speaks to everybody.
Right.
Right? Because even if you say children should never be hungry and water should always be clean, you're going to have people who say we can't afford that.
Right.
You're never going to be able to make everybody happy, ever. So don't go after everybody. A friend of mine once said, you want a niche? Women who run at night wearing Nike shoes with glow-in-the-dark laces. That's a niche. They have a specific need, right? Or wear a headlamp on their head. Something. You got to be able to fine-tune it to a point where when you speak, they know you are talking directly to them. But at the same time, not so small. When I wrote my book, that's bio that you read actually came off the back of my book, Every Single Girl's Guide to Her Future Husband's Last Divorce. And it is a legal and finance guide for women who are going to marry or have married, men who have been previously divorced, because there are issues that come along with that they don't teach you about in school, and if you don't know, it can bite you in the butt. And if you do know, you can protect yourself and get to a 50-year wedding anniversary and avoid that whole pesky 70% divorce rate. So that's why I wrote that book. The second time around, right. So, but the problem is that there were only 25 million second marriages, second families. And when you're talking books, that's not enough people. There was 1.1 million second marriages per year.
Jeez.
Not a big enough market.
Not enough.
Huh?
Not enough.
Not enough. 1.1 million, not enough. And I thought, 1.1 million, no problem. I can blow out 10,000 books, no problem. I sold like 6,500. And all of a sudden it's like, Now it's trickling. And I'm going, what happened? What happened? They all bought them, right? Because the other ones want to live in denial. And you just have to assume that there's always going to be people in your niche who are perfectly happy blind. They don't want help. They're like ostriches. Their heads in the sand,
Yes.
and I say they're in a box and they've decorated it. They're not just in it; they've decorated it.
Yeah.
I say
And they don't
yank
wanna
them out of
come
the box and burn it
Love it.
because the rules are changing. You know, you can't.
It is.
The time that you could just get a job and have a job and keep that job for 20, 30, 40 years and then retire, get a pension and a gold watch. I mean, we all know that was gone over a decade ago, right?
Right.
So
Oh, yeah.
what do you have to do now? You have to create your own retirement or something that you can do for the rest of your life. So that means not lifting heavy bricks, pieces of
Right.
wood, you know, not manual because you can't do that at 95,
Right.
right? Social Security will be gone. We all know that. Medicare will be gone. We all know that. I mean, at least by the time I hit 95, there'll be something else, but we don't know what it is. So since you can't prepare for that, you've got to prepare yourself.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you certainly cannot count on someone else taking care of you like you used to be able to back in, say, our parents' days when everything was about get a secure job, son, and, you know, work for 30 years, retire, build up your retirement, and then, you know, leave retirement and live for maybe 5 or 10 years and then die. It's like, wow, that sounds like fun. Where do I sign up?
Yeah, I'm not signing up for that. My grandpa used to get really frustrated because I had, I want to say, like 12 jobs in 4 years.
Yeah.
But I went from making minimum wage to like 150,000 a year because that's the only way you could.
Exactly.
You'd
Yeah,
learn
you had to
and then
climb.
and learn and then jump over here. And I mean, there's no straight up ladder.
Right.
And if you find the ladder that goes all the way up, it's on the wrong wall. It's just
Well,
not where you want to be.
There's always other people on that ladder keeping you from getting past them. That's the issue with the corporate structure. So,
I've
yeah.
got nails. They
You know,
wouldn't pass them.
I was going to say, you know, the thing that I like about the transparency with social media is the fact that it creates an opportunity for everybody to do the joint venture, to get involved in joint venturing. So that's a real plus,
Yeah.
if nothing else. And as far as people being concerned about safety, I mean, there are parameters that you can set up around you within that if you are terribly concerned about those kinds of issues. But it is important if you're going to make those connections and be involved in joint ventures with other people that you do put yourself out there in that way. So I just kind of wanted to reiterate that. It's an important thing to be as transparent as you can or as comfortable as you can when you're being
You know, I say
transparent
this
out
a
there.
lot when I'm talking about when you're going after media and major media. And I've been on national television multiple times. I'm a featured expert. I'm the one they call, the news calls are like, can we be at your house in 15 minutes? And I'm like in my pajamas going, sure. No, I'm 15 minutes till camera ready. That's my rule at all times. I have to make sure that I can whip out my hair and my makeup, throw on an Armani that's always ready to go in the closet. Everything is clean. I have uniforms for going on TV. Everybody should have uniforms. It makes it a much easier. You don't want to be sifting through the dirty clothes going, what's clean? But my point is, the media wants to be able to check me out. They want to know what I'm going to say. They want to be able to see all my stuff. And the other thing is, if anybody ever tells me that they can't find my phone number, I'm just going to call them out. Google me. It's like 49,000 hits. The first 10 pages, easily half of the links on each of those pages have my phone number on them. Pick one. They all work. So
totally accessible.
Totally accessible. Totally accessible.
That is a definition.
And I have to be. And you know what? I have not gotten crank calls. I've had a couple of calls that were like, you know, will you marry me? If you're a woman, it's going to happen. If you're a hot guy, it's going to happen. Take the compliment. Say thank you, but no thank you. And call it done.
Makes sense.
I'm just saying there's
Right.
so much more to fear staying in the box than there is coming out.
That's true. And it's just
You know?
it's just sticking your neck out that one time to finally get over that fear. then you go, wow, there's quite a nice world out here, and it's actually a lot safer than one would imagine. But until you stick your neck out, you're never going to realize that. So, yeah, just do it.
And then there's another portion of that, which I talk about in one of my sessions called Do You Suck? Like the number one thing that people look for or type in when they're mad at you is so-and-so sucks, or so-and-so fraud, or so-and-so scam. Those are the top 3, right? So if you're not out there and you're not findable, then you're not participating in the conversation, and that conversation may be happening about you without you. So
good point.
You kind of want to know. Set up Google alerts for your business name, your name, any brands for your products. You know, make sure you can keep track of what people are talking about, and you know right away every time a new page is indexed.
Very nice.
So you have shared several ideas with us on revenue income streams. What else would you pick on your list of those that you've shared already? And what others do you have? Sure.
The number one thing I would say is, by learning affiliate marketing, you never have to do anything other than drive traffic. And it's a great place to learn how to drive traffic. Because when you have your own stuff or when you have your own business, you need traffic. Even if you have a brick and mortar business, studies show 70% of people go to the computer and look up that business online before they get in the car. So you have to be there. So if you have to be there, you might as well be found and be the site that they do look at before they get in the car and go buy something.
That's good.
So I like affiliate marketing for that.
Yeah, affiliate marketing.
You know,
go ahead.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh,
I was just saying, I've always loved affiliate marketing for that, because it's almost, you know, once you learn it, it's kind of a set it and forget it. Yeah. And then you just see that, you know, you see the money cranking in, and that's the best part.
And that's mailbox money. And you know what? And sometimes it takes a month or two to really get good and fine tune a niche and really get it rolling so that it is going over and over and over. Then you just wash, rinse, and repeat. There we go. Do it again in another niche and get that one going, and just start having these multiple funnels coming in. But the other thing is, and here was really key, and I think this conversation has just inspired me to actually change a few steps in how I teach some of this. I think I'm going, people who want to have their own product, I think I'm going to go make them figure out how to market somebody else's first.
I think that's a good idea.
So that they can see all the pieces that they have to put together.
Yes.
All of the materials that they're going to need, the way the site is, why that converts better, different kinds of traffic, and experiment with them, all while getting paid, because hopefully they'll be sending traffic and getting conversions before they develop their own.
Yes.
I think that's a good idea.
Another recommendation on that is to have them represent affiliate products or services that they themselves either use or know someone who does, that is high, you know, based on high integrity. I've seen so many pre-launches go out where there's no product yet, and people will glom on and try to sell it to the masses, and then the product comes out and it's a piece of trash, and your name went with that. So be very, you know, your students would want to be very, very careful in what they promote. But that's brilliant advice. Get their feet wet and see how the whole operation works, and then they can turn around and start with their own product. It's a great win-win from both vantage points, whether you're selling other people's products or services or your own. Affiliate marketing is truly a gem, and Kathy Stover knows about that.
And so do you. Come on, you do too.
And I do want to say, that is a key point, that integrity.
Yes.
I will not talk about a product that I don't own, that I haven't used.
Thank you.
Because I never want somebody coming back to me and saying that sucked. They can come back and say, I don't understand it, and I'll say, here, let me show you how I use it. But it's got to be great. I won't let somebody on my stage, I made that mistake one time, but never, never, never again. My rule was always, I have to have your product in my hand and review it before you get on my stage to speak.
Yeah.
Because I want to know it's good.
Same concept, yes.
Yeah.
We just had one of the folks viewing saying, how do you use video in your marketing?
Good question.
Oh, I love video. I don't know if you can tell, but I did the Fox News Hottie Hooker makeup. Can you see? See my cheekbones? I love video. Why do I love video? I think I mentioned it earlier. I hate writing. I'm done.
Yes.
Give me bullet points. I can make really good points. I can get my point across. I'm very comfortable not having to look down at the people that I'm talking to, because right now I'm staring at my webcam. Instead of the people I'm talking to are down there. Makes it difficult, but you want to maintain that eye contact with your viewer. Video is crucial. It actually used to be a lot more effective in terms of traffic generation, where putting them up on every video site known to man with the right keywords would drive traffic back.
Right.
My testing has shown that to not be effective anymore. But having video on your page gives you lots of Google love. People don't like to read. I don't know what it is with this lazy society. They like it done for you, and they want it now. So less than 3 minutes is good, or let them know ahead of time it's an hour-long webinar, and don't give them controls. Keep them. This is the one thing. If you're going to do a video sales letter, do not let them fast forward. Because in a written sales letter, by a show of hands, raise your hand. How many of you scroll to the bottom and see how much?
Oh, yeah.
And then
Absolutely.
If the how much doesn't violate your perception of what the product is before you know anything about it, just go back up to the top and maybe read a little.
Yes.
Or at least headlines on the way down, right? And then I completely dismissed every testimonial, because every product that I've seen that's white labeled comes preloaded with testimonials. Just fill in so-and-so name. I'm like, that's ridiculous. That's so illegal. Like, is that illegal now?
You know, I think it is. I think I heard something about that.
Yeah, the FTC said no. So anyway, so, be authentic and everything, but video is great. I did test the video sales page with a written sales page, split test, and had the most boring reader, not good presenter, read the sales letter. Let me tell you about this great... I had it done overseas, can you tell? Anyway, because I was split testing the effectiveness, not my face. Because my face can sell, which is, I wanted it to be a blind taste test, right?
Right.
Nazi can smile, sell ice to Eskimos, because yes, it can. I didn't want any interference with that. Oh my goodness, 300% higher conversion with the crazy guy on the video than with the written sales letter with the same words. Same words, same offer. No controls on the video.
Yeah.
So they had to sit through it to get to the end, right? And then we do the buy button comes in at a certain time. Right?
Gotcha. Yeah, at the end of the video
And then I did test the concept of letting them hit the space bar to pause it. Mm-hmm. So because I'm the queen of the Itty Bitty Bladder Society, so I can't make it through a 20-minute video sometimes. I need to pause. And it just happens. I figured there's a lot of people like me, maybe they'd want to pause. Then I realized I paused and I came back 3 days later.
Yeah.
So don't let them pause. Make them go all the way through in one shot or start over from the beginning. Man, that'll frustrate the heck out of them. But the first time they do it, they'll never do it again. They'll watch the whole video till the end. Just takes once and they're trained. It's good.
Excellent
That's that
advice.
Rob.
Yeah, I'm glad to hear that you're one of those marketers that believes in testing, because all too often people just go willy-nilly and try just throwing something up, and because of their own personal opinion of something, think this is going to work, this is the best, and we just throw it up and let it run. And it's good that you're doing this testing and showing and telling all of our viewers that these are real results, and they are results as they stand today. That doesn't mean tomorrow or the day after. This is recent. That text may come back as number one, that people became readers all of a sudden.
This was killing my client, who wanted a really pretty page and a long-form sales letter. Killing her when I said, I can get the crazy Chinaman to do it and make more. She's like,
well, you know what, I think that's part of it too, is just... I think it's important to be real and authentic too, and not and be animated as it is to be just stellar. And because I've seen some of those where you've got a guy on there, and even though he's not reading, it's just blah.
Yeah.
And even that turns me off. I'm like, forget it. I don't even want to look at the rest of it. So,
Right.
yeah,
And
it has a lot to do with how they put it together as well.
Testing is crucial. That really is going to determine if you get that extra comma in your bottom line or not. You know, you could be making
yeah.
$1,000 or $1 million, and the difference could be whether or not you test. And because you just don't know.
Before we get to the end of our hour, we want you to talk a little bit about this subject. Is continuity dead? Opinion?
Yes.
What's your opinion on that one?
Dead, sort of. Caveat.
Okay.
Monthly recurring billings are dead. Free offer, just pay shipping with a CD into a continuity offer, illegal, dead. Free CD, aha. Now we have this whole tax issue with Nexus and sales tax, and dead. Don't, just don't. Because your fulfillment house could be in one of the states and get you brought into that. And then, trust me, everybody's hurting for money, especially the tax man. So just don't go there. So the best way, membership site, great. Sell a year or a lifetime subscription. You can offer it as a monthly recurring, knowing that according to who you ask, the average lifetime on a membership is 3 to 4 months. So know that, okay, if I'm charging $40 a month or 39, 49, whatever it is you're charging, or 37, 47, depending on your market, 7s work better than 9s, but multiply that out by 4, we'll go on the long side, 4, so that could be like $200, right, if it's $50 a month.
Right.
If you offer them a lifetime subscription for $297, you're going to have a certain percentage that's going to say, oh, yeah, I want it for life, man. They don't realize that after 5 months, they're going to forget where their login is. They don't even know where the site is. And they haven't been there for so long. It doesn't matter how great your content is, because maybe they'll find it in a couple of years when they're looking through their cache trying to figure out what cookies to delete. It's amazing. So get them to buy a lifetime. You're going to increase your revenue, and it's no more hard work for you. You don't want to go through. The credit card companies took all those limits and whoosh, right down to the balance. Whatever the balance is, that's now your new limit. And then people who use debit cards, here's the problem with that. And believe me, this is where they're having to go because they want your product badly. They want it because you are the silver bullet that is going to save them. You have the knowledge that they need. They have to buy it. Unfortunately, they don't have a credit card anymore. All they have is their debit card. You put it on recurring billing. Unfortunately, it doesn't just decline. It goes and tries to do an ACH out of their checking account and overdraws their account. So then they get a $34 overdraft fee, which they then mentally associate with you.
Yeah.
That's not good for your reputation. You want to make it easy for them to buy. You want to give them lots and lots of value, and you want them to have positive thoughts about you all the time. Don't mess with their money. Give them great deals, high-value deals. Instead of a $50 a month membership, let them pay $297 for a lifetime. They will be a good client for you, and you can sell to them over and over, and once they've bought from you, they're more likely to buy again. So save your headaches. How's that for definitive?
Very.
Love it. Love it. That's an important part of the whole package. And I'll tell you what, every Tuesday it comes to this point where we have spent a delightful hour with somebody that we have on the show. You have been a phenomenal guest.
Mm-hmm.
And we're at that bewitching hour. We've been on for an hour already, if you can believe it. What you have shared with us tonight, I know Brian has been taking notes because I can tell when he moves and what he's doing. I've been taking notes as well. I always love it because we learn so much. Excuse me. But I just want to tell you that we would love to have you back sometime, and I know Brian would agree because you are a plethora of information to share with not only the viewers that we have on right now, but viewers. These folks that are watching are going to say, you've got to check out this Adrienne Ashley. She has got some phenomenal information to share. So I just want to tell you from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much. I'm glad that because of your transparency, mine and Brian's, we all were able to connect and share some of your great knowledge with the people that spend Tuesday evenings with us. So I'm going to turn it back over to Brian, and thanks again, Adrienne.
Hi, can I just pause for 1 second?
Sure.
Because my roommate is locked out of the room and doesn't realize I'm on a live radio show.
All right.
I
Sure.
love it.
Go right ahead.
I know, it's live, it's real, that's what's happening. So yes, thank you so much for having me on the show.
Thank you, Adrienne. You can go ahead and get that door. We'll be here.
Okay, take it away, Brian.
And we'll close it up here in just a moment. I love it. I love it. This is perfect because this shows this is authentic.
Well, you know, we had a cat that one time that went across. And
Jordan Goodman, yeah.
my dog Zoe barks sometimes.
Hi, roommate.
And there's her
Everybody's like, wave hi to Janice.
See ya. Oh, but I like to echo everything Kathy said. Adrienne, you've been absolutely wonderful. You're a little spark plug, a ball of energy, and I love that. This is, again, Adrienne Ashley. You can see her name on the screen right now. Look her up on Facebook and connect with her. Her website is wowisme.com. So be sure to go.
.net.
Pardon? .net.
Wowisme.net.
Sorry.
Wowisme.com is World of Warcraft, a mirror site, and they won't give it to me.
Oh.
Those pesky boys.
World of Warcraft. My goodness, that's a popular game I hear. Wowisme.net. But thank you so much once again, Adrienne, for putting yourself out with us in a hotel room at LAX in the middle of your travels to be here with us for an entire hour and to go through all of the technical issues we had just getting this show running. Thank you so much. You're a treasure. We really enjoyed having you on the show. And what we'd like to tell all of our viewers is thank you as well for spending an hour with us. We know that there are other things you could be doing tonight and that you spent that with us, and we appreciate that. And if you're watching it live or even if you're watching it later in the recorded version in our Star Club area, once again, we appreciate your time and investment on watching this show. With that, we will be back next week with another fantastic guest, a great show. We're looking forward to it. We will see you all again next week. Have a wonderful, wonderful evening, and goodbye now.
Goodbye, thank you.
Good night.